Welcome to Paradigm. Today I'm joined by two honorable men. Oh man, I've been looking forward to recording this episode. I definitely want to welcome the OG, Richard Thompson, aka Rich T. I definitely want to welcome, the homie man. I definitely appreciate you for making time too, Kevin, aka the missing piece. Definitely subscribe to both of these content creators. I have so much respect for them because they take time out of their day to share information with me that otherwise I might not ever know, or it might take me a extremely long time to stumble upon this information. So, I do want to say to both of these gentlemen, happy Saturnalia. And before we even get into the conversation, we're gonna go deep today. What are you guys' thoughts on today? Christmas, Saturnalia. Kevin, we'll start with you first. What are your thoughts on today? What does Christmas mean to you, present day?
Well, when you go and you look at where the holidays originated from, they're all pagan holidays, and but Christmas to me, it was about being with family whenever I was younger, and of course getting presents, and the myth of Santa Claus and whatnot. And they perverted everything, especially with the Dr. Fauci. I think he went on TV and he told the nation that he had vaccinated Santa Claus. And so there's a lot of propaganda right now with just with the whole system and the myth. Christmas, I think, to the overall public is about e-commerce, right? It's about money, and the illusion of money and buying things that you really don't need, you know. So I look at all the holidays and I realize that they're nothing what I thought they were when I was growing up, you know. And so I look at things differently, but it's a good time to be around family and friends, that's for sure.
Rich, you want to hop up in there? What does Christmas mean to you?
Well, I feel about the same. It's more about figuring out ways of bleeding the average citizen out of their money and using their kids to manipulate them into being able to do that. And guilt. There's a lot of guilt behind. Well, if you can't buy gifts for others and they're buying gifts for you because they're all sucked into this monopoly, then you feel guilt for it. When we're children, yeah, we look at it and it was a great thing. And, but as we get older now and those that actually go out and do a little research and realize that it's more about a cult and a manipulation of the average people to get them to spend their money. And it goes all the way back to Saturn and Satan worship.
Like you said, cult is short for culture.
Yeah, cult. The word cult goes all the way back to the cult of Ur. Ur was in Mesopotamia. That's where the Sumerians and all of them got their start. Which if you follow that path, it's almost like it goes parallel with what Enoch said about the fallen angels, and then the Sumerians would be kind of like the fallen angels and their offspring. The thing about it is if you start looking at the trail of manipulation, there's a trail there of more of guilting you or manipulating you out of your energy. And what is that energy built up into? It's built up into the monetary system now.
Right. That seems like that's the cult of America, currency. Just like Kevin, you always say the corporation, the corpse. We're all, it's like we're all dead entities.
Yeah, Nashville's got everything screwed up. I know that. Their tower, the AT&T building got blew up.
Oh,
okay,
shit.
it was an AT&T building. All right, here we go.
God.
Here we go.
Yes.
What?
Yes, the AT&T building got blew up, and they have no cell service, nor do they have internet service now. We was talking about ham radios. I got a friend, and I
sure were last night, man.
Yeah,
Yes, we were.
Yes,
Go ahead,
we
I'm
talked
sorry.
about that last. And I got a friend down there, and he was telling me, he's like, hey, you go to this frequency and you can hear everything that's going on down here in Nashville. Well, I went to that frequency and I couldn't pull it up because I was trying to drag it through the internet. But they're down there right now communicating only through ham radio.
So that was an AT&T building that got taken out.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I wonder if it looked anything like the AT&T building in downtown Kansas City, because that building is a fortress. Okay, so I wonder if it just like held a bunch of servers in there, and you know, was AT&T behind it? Who is AT&T trying to merge with right now? You know, so I look around like 3 or 4 corners when I look at this stuff, because the only people that can pull this off, you guys, something like this, is someone that's being funded by the system.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a Winnebago, but if you look at the size of that explosion down there, like I said, my friend, he lives 13 miles outside of the blast zone, and he said it woke him up.
Wow,
that's a big fucking explosion, bro.
Yeah.
So what were they saying was the cause of the explosion?
A car bomb?
It was a bomb, but what it was is sometime last night someone parked a Winnebago, which is basically, you know, just a big mobile home, and you know, that you can drive.
Yeah.
And they said it was a little bit older one, and they said that, dude, low. They actually had a loudspeaker hooked up to the sumbitch, and it was warning people to get the hell out of the way because it was fixing to blow. It had a countdown on it, bro.
You got to be kidding me.
No, it had a countdown on it. It sounded like the Purge.
Wow, this is crazy.
Okay, so there's a blessing out of all this coronavirus stuff, though, because there's a lot of people that would have been in that area probably that weren't early this morning.
They said it was quiet down there. There's a lady that lived across the street from where this thing was parked, and she said that they heard like 3 or 4 shots in the morning, and they didn't think nothing about it. And like a few minutes later, they heard a few more shots. Well, then she said she looked out and she seen the Winnebago and the streets were clear, but then all of a sudden a warning come on. It sounded, and you know, you can actually go look it up on YouTube, and it sounded like a woman giving a computer countdown warning to get the hell out of that area because it's fixing to blow. She said that her and her husband got in the car and they drove so far out, and it seemed like they had been out for about 20 minutes and it didn't blow up. So they was on their way back in, and then all of a sudden they got hit by the explosion.
This reminds me of They Live. this is a you know what I'm talking about? At the end of the movie, what's his name? Roddy
Piper.
This is a Roddy Piper moment, you know, where he's trying to destroy Channel 57 or whatever it was.
Can you blame him?
So
I mean,
bizarre,
we all know. Hey, I think it'd be an inside job. It was some, you know, there was some rich people behind it, but you know, with all this 5G, you got to question.
Yeah. Who benefits in all of this stuff, right? When you
it ain't us.
Exactly.
It ain't us because we'll lose some more. We'll lose some more freedoms over it. You know, the innocent people, those that are just trying to live and take care of their family and shit, they're the ones that always get jacked around. You know, it's like the whole gun laws. Well, you know what? If you take away the guns, you're only going to take them away from the innocent people. But it ain't like, you know, illegals are going to come along with their guns and be like, hey, man, you know what? I feel like I need to do the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, and listen, whenever they talk about, like, whenever they make a war on something, okay, they're making money off of it. It's a business. When they say war, I hear business, you know, because they're actually bringing the ammo in or the guns in or the drugs. They run it all. Then they run the prison and the prison system, which is
Well, it's a win-win for them, because you think about it like this. First off, you never see anybody at the top of the pyramid like kings or high-end businessmen getting blowed up in any fucking wars. It's always us people down there at the bottom of the pyramid putting in the dirt work. We go over there, we fight their wars for them, and family members die on both sides. And that doesn't matter, because you know what? That's just population control for them. So they not only get population control, they win whatever they decided that the spoils of the war are going to be.
But let me ask this question: how is war profitable? Where is it that they make money off of going to war? When I feel like when you lose money when you're going to war, you're using your resources, things of that nature. Wouldn't you lose money when you're going to war?
Well, it all depends on if you're funding both sides of the war. The military-industrial complex is the military-industrial complex. They're not just making weapons for the United States.
Yeah, they're doing both. They fund both sides. That they always win. They always win. And it's so. I think when you talk about money in war, I mean, like Halliburton. You guys. Dick Cheney was the CEO of Halliburton before he became vice president. He stepped back, and then we went to war. Well, who got all the contracts to go in and help Iraq rebuild their infrastructure? The Halliburton Corporation. So they always are set up to win, no matter what. Here would be interesting.
That's exactly the same thing that's the same thing that happened during the Civil War. And that's about the time that America lost everything that it had, because the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers were funding both sides of the Civil War. Now, like I said before, whether, there's thousands of people that wanted to free the slaves, but not necessarily was the North worried about freeing the slaves, but taxation was a wonderful thing for them. And it benefited the Queen because, hey, she wanted so much money for every person living in the United States. A human body creates money.
Wouldn't it be powerful, fellas, if the next Third World War that they're planning, because they're on a like an Armageddon script. They're on a apocalyptic, script where everything is burnt down. And you talk about, like, I don't think, if you look at Congress, none of their kids are in the military. If they have served in the military, it was fake. They were leadership in title only, in name only, So if the good men and women of the military on both sides, if they didn't show up for the next war, there'd be no war to fight. Because they're not going to do it.
That's not going to happen, though. See, that's why they pick teenage people to go into the military. First off, you just get out of school, you're actually starting to be able to have a little bit of free think instead of having to, follow by a specific set of thoughts. And it's easy to get a teenager. You look at him and point up the hill and say, yeah, I want you to go up there and I want you to take over that house. They don't ask questions. Our old asses be like, well, what the hell we need to go up there and take over that house for? Well, not teenagers. They're like, hell yeah, boss, let's blow that son of a bitch up. So that's why they pick teenagers, because they're easier to manipulate. You start looking at Charles Manson. Oh, it was so bad what Charles Manson did. Well, all he did, he manipulated teenagers into using their free think, but he put a little bit of lie behind it to get them to do the things that they done. Well, that shit happens every day up there on the college grounds when they want people to go and riot and protest. Well, you took a kid out of school and give him a little free think and give him a little truth that's outside the norm. It don't matter after that what you tell them; they'll believe anything. It worked for Charles Manson, didn't it? It'll work for the military.
Hey guys, Rich, you brought up Charles Manson. You guys should go look at Charles Manson's Manson's lineup over the decades that he was in prison. There's like 30 different pictures of him in a row from 30 different years, right? And
Yeah.
none of them look like Charles Manson. They all look like different people. It is so bizarre.
Like I said, Charles Manson never really was in the penitentiary. I mean, how many times you ever seen anybody in the penitentiary actually sit down and have an interview with Fox or CNN or any news media, and they're not shackled and chained to a chair? He was up swinging his arms around when he was talking to the media crews. Now, that's not penitentiary.
It reminds me of CNN going into Osama bin Laden's cave and videotaping him. CNN to find this man, but you're telling me that the most powerful government with the biggest technocracy in the world can't find
hold on,
one
Kev,
man? And then
Kev, you talking about Tim Osmond?
That's right. About? Tim Osmond, him and his 56 brothers. So check this out. Imagine if Loki had 56 brothers, man. And I was like good friends with Loki. It would be hard for me to be like, that's the real one. And I know you. So look at how it's the same thing with Tim Osmond. If you look at all those different photos after 9/11, dude, how do I know who that is? It
well,
look like
that's like Bill Cooper when he seen that interview. He said, you got to be ignorant to believe that if anything ever happened to the United States, and he said there will be within a few weeks, and he said that you'd have to be ignorant to believe that it was Osama bin Laden that was going to do it. That was set up for you to believe that Osama bin Laden was going to have an attack. And a lot of people said that bin Laden was part of the CIA. Now, I don't know. I don't have proof of that. But if I had to guess right now, bin Laden's somewhere on a beach with a bunch of bitches, drinking margaritas and having a good time with Tupac.
Hanging out with George Floyd.
Yeah, George Floyd and Tupac and the rest of them.
And Michael Jackson. You know, we talk about that day. That day, for some reason, some people say the Jesuits, some people say the baby hat. I call them the baby hats. That 9/11, not 7/11, 9/11. Kev, can you share your dream that you had about that day? And also, some people put the theory on the table that 9/11 was Jesus Christ's real birthday. Go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, I've heard that about Jesus' birthday, and it kind of makes sense, you know. So I don't remember watching a lot about New York and the Twin Towers. Like, for some reason, I might have been too young to really. I don't think I really watched the first World Trade Center bombing. I think I might have seen it, but I think the first traumatic event that I witnessed as a child was Waco. I watched it all. Okay. And after Waco, man, I realized that, and I don't even know really what happened at Waco, you guys, because it was on TV, and the TV it's all lies. Like, all of it's lies. It's all manipulation. But I thought at the time, well, there were kids that died in Waco that were my age and younger. And I felt generally empathy for the children, right? I really wasn't thinking about the mothers or the fathers. I was only thinking about what I could relate to. And then I remember looking around for a competent authority or authority in my life to help me rationalize it, what I just saw went on for 58 days or whatever it was. And all I got around me was shrugs. Like, well, don't mess with the government. And so it really taught me a valuable lesson as a child was, man, just stay the fuck out of their way.